What's up and welcome to another episode of my relocation series on Madden 22. This is the Memphis Steamers. Alright, I'm gonna have to get used to saying that. But last time, we did the entire first season, including the offseason. We fully relocated the Texans, and we got rid of the entire team pretty much. The team sucks. We had a lot of draft picks. I used those draft picks to take a bunch of studs who will be starting and hopefully developing throughout the course of this series. We drafted some hidden development guys. Hopefully their developments pan out well, and if not, you know, there's a chance they could break out and go up in dev anyway. But let's get started with this episode.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see.
This video is going to be me introducing the draft class. We're also going to get the team all situated for the first week against the Titans. We're not going to play that game this time. It will be next time, which I will try to get out as soon as possible after this one goes live, maybe the following day. But I'm sure it'll be out within 2 days of this video. Okay, so you probably won't have to wait too long to get some gameplay. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the Steamers' first draft class. The first selection for the Steamers was Jalen Garrett, a quarterback out of Texas. Now, Garrett finished at number 2 in the Heisman running last year, just behind the running back KC Davis, who is a current member of the New York Giants, another first round selection in this last draft. But Jalen Garrett is widely considered to be the best throwing quarterback in this entire draft. He has absolutely elite throw power, and he very rarely missed on his targets. His passes were usually put directly where they were supposed to be. He did struggle with decision making every once in a while whenever he faced a tougher defense, but in general, Jalen Garrett is a very good looking quarterback prospect. Makes total sense he went with the first pick. The second pick here in the first round for the Steamers is Jillian Wolfhart. Also, please let me know if I'm pronouncing these names incorrectly. But this man is an absolute behemoth. He is 6'5", 225 at wide receiver. Now, a bit of a project. He struggles running routes, he struggles catching, but he is very, very fast for how tall he is, and he has ridiculous jumping ability. He does do a really good job, though, pinpointing the ball in a lot of traffic. He was one of the best contested catch receivers in all of college football last year, but he had a handful of drops on far easier catches. Looked like a lot of them were just concentration drops, who knows, but look for Wolfhart to lead this team in targets this year. Now, after using their first 2 picks on the offense, only makes sense to go to the defensive side of the ball here. And the Steamers got one of the better corners in the entire draft, arguably the best, Reese Lally. I'll talk about why your last name isn't spelled correctly after I introduce the team. But Reese Lally, incredible speed, one of the faster cornerbacks in the entire class. Now, that allowed him to make lapses in judgment on the defensive side. He wasn't as fine-tuned in coverage as some of these guys, but he was always able to get back into the play because of how fast he actually is. He might struggle early on trying his old habits again against like NFL speed receivers, but he should develop into a true number 1 cornerback, and I'm sure he's going to be a lockdown guy in a couple years. The second defensive pick in a row here for the Steamers, Xavion Robinson, a defensive tackle out of Michigan State. 6'4", 302. Pretty big man, incredibly strong as well. One of the stronger D tackles in the entire class. He also has really solid movement ability. He can rush the passer if he needs to. He's a good run stuffer. He's just an all-around really solid defensive tackle. He had a couple off the field issues in college, so that was why he fell to the later part of the first round, but he's definitely a top D tackle prospect whenever he is on the field. With the first pick in the second round, the Memphis Steamers went with Princeton Anderson, a middle linebacker out of Clemson. This man can absolutely fly around the field. One of the faster middle linebackers in the entire class. He did not miss many tackles in Clemson, but where he struggled was with his coverage ability. That is certainly something that the coaching staff for Memphis is going to have to work on with Anderson. Now, the offensive line is definitely a position you'd imagine Memphis would have selected with one of their earlier picks, but talking with the scouts and with the crew over in Memphis, they just didn't like many of the top prospects on the offensive line. Fizekis is the first offensive lineman they had on their draft board. A center out of Oklahoma State. He's a versatile player. He can move all around the offensive line if they need him to. It seems though as of now he's going to stay at center. He's very good at pass blocking. He showed that off plenty of times in college, but he did struggle with the run, which is something he's going to have to work on if he wants to be a successful center in the NFL. Now, this is a pick that had me scratching my head for sure. Nick Becht, a right tackle out of Auburn. I had him pinned as a 7th round talent, and for some reason, Memphis took him in the 3rd round, the first pick in the 3rd round. He's big, 6'6", 314, but he's just very raw. Doesn't do anything particularly well, but maybe they're hoping he can develop into like a capable starter. I just can't imagine he's anything more than that. Wearing the big number 69 though, so there's something. Now here's another project player for Memphis, Zach Lane, an outside linebacker. Well, he's an edge player out of Indiana State. He was very productive in college, but most of his productivity came from weaker opponents and weaker offensive tackles. Whenever he played against a solid offensive tackle, he was typically shut down. Gets off the ball very quickly though. That's the brightest spot with his game, but everything else is rather raw as well. But I do think he has the potential to turn into a really solid pass rusher, probably after this first year. The rookie season, I think it's going to be rough for him. Chris Orocho is going to be the starting running back for Memphis. Selected in the 4th round, he's a very balanced runner. Doesn't really excel in any one area. He's pretty fast though, and he accelerates very well. But other than that, he doesn't really do anything that's really going to blow you away. He doesn't run over players that frequently, doesn't change direction too well. Juke and spinning aren't his forte. He's an overall solid runner who can also be fairly decent out of the backfield as a receiver as well, if they need him in that role. And then last but not least, a kicker. Victor Montero, or Montero? Gotta figure out exactly how that's pronounced. But you know, absolute boot on this man. One of the better kickers in all of college, was selected in the 7th round. He should be a reliable kicker for this team moving forward. And that is going to do it for the first draft class for this Memphis Steamers team. And I said I'd explain it again, but Reese Lally, I had to spell your name this way, because apparently, spelling it the way you have it in your YouTube name is considered profanity in Madden. So let me know if you want me to change your last name, or if you want me to keep it like this. It's up to you, my dude, but just wanted to specify why I didn't spell it correctly. Another thing I want to point out in this video, I had this idea when I was thinking about this series, I just forgot to bring it up in the first video, but I also want to open up this team for some veterans who might just be looking for a roster spot anywhere. Okay, so like some players around the age of 30 plus who would just be willing to take any kind of roster spot they can find. Like, let's see if there are any free agents who fit this bill. I think I'm going to allow myself to sign a couple of these guys who are above the 70 threshold. I don't want them being too good. I don't want to sign like Casey Hayward. I think Chris Harris might be a little bit too good too. Maybe somebody in the 70s. Like Melvin Ingram would be a pretty good candidate here. Colin Kaepernick even as well. I think we're good at quarterback though. Jerry Hughes, JPP, players like that. Linval Joseph maybe. Like one I was thinking of, I don't know if he is a free agent or if he's still on the team, was Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon is down here at a 73 overall. I'm going to sign him to the team just to see if he has anything left in the tank. I like me some Josh Gordon, man. I genuinely think, you know, if it wasn't for all the struggles he went through, dealing with all the stuff he had to deal with, if it wasn't for all of that, if he could have had a fully healthy career, I think he would have been one of the more dominant receivers in the NFL in these past, you know, bunch of seasons. Josh Gordon was ridiculous. The one year he played like 14 games, right, and had like 1,600 yards or something like that. Yeah, in 2013, 87 catches, 1,646 yards, and he played 14 games. He was absolutely dominant that year. But I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that throughout the earlier part of his NFL career, there wasn't a game that he wasn't drunk for or like high for or anything like that. Now, I can kind of understand being on drugs or something and potentially performing still, but being drunk and still performing well, that is wild. That is absolutely wild to me that he was able to put up those numbers while inebriated, you know? I've been drunk before, dude. I barely have the hand-eye coordination to like open up a door. And this man is beating NFL caliber cornerbacks all the time. That's just wild to me. Anyway, my Josh Gordon rant is over. He's on the team. He might get some playtime. I've always wanted to use Josh Gordon in a series like this and just never got around to doing it. So this one is going to be the one. Let me know if you want me to go after any other players in specific. Like I said, there's no gameplay in this video. That's kind of why I wanted to postpone that as well, to get more feedback in the comments. But yeah, we're going to be going through the preseason in this video, getting ready for the NFL season. There's a 40 overall quarterback, 59 medium accuracy. That's probably rivaling me. That's wild. A 42 overall. All right, well, I'm just going to be looking through some free agents, trying to find some other hidden development trade rookies. Be nice if we can find some undrafted free agents here. Also, a couple more players who could be named after you guys. So So it's always nice to get as many rookies as possible. This running back's actually really solid. Chauncey Hooks, 91 speed, 87 excel, 87 agility, 88 change of direction. I'm signing him to the team. I'm going to sign one more veteran player to the team. It's going to be Zac Ertz. He's not going to start at tight end, but I like Zac Ertz a lot. I'm an Eagles fan. He just got traded in real life. You know, Zac Ertz was so good for the Eagles for a long time. I'm going to miss him for sure. I do think it was the right decision, but I am going to miss him. Hopefully he does really well in the Cardinals. I'm going to bring him onto the team here, though. He's just going to be the backup tight end. I want Brevin Jordan being the #1 for sure, but you know, your #2 tight end, they still get some targets. Another rookie I'm going to sign is going to be Nick Adkins as a backup guard. This is definitely another player I want to sign, Ralph Shepard. 61 overall middle linebacker, but he has 86 speed. It's not bad for a backup. Cornerback is a position we very badly need. We need some players to start at cornerback. Who are the fastest corners in free agency right now? Keon Crossan is the fastest. Perry Nickerson. Tony Brown, he's a 69. We could sign him. Let me sign Stephon Thomas to the team. And I think I will also sign Tony Brown, because he probably will, like, start, which is unfortunate to say, but, you know, we're still getting out of the rebuilding phase. All right, so we need some players somewhere. I'm also going to snag Josh Jones. He's a 69. He's fast and hits very hard. So I think he might start somewhere at safety. So the names of those undrafted free agents that I just signed are all up for grabs. All right, so if you want to be named one of those players, let me know in this video if you want to be one of those players specifically. Now, you are very, very unlikely to see the field, but if you just want to be a part of this team, definitely let me know. We are going to be going through the preseason here now, and then of course I'm going to get the team all ready to go for that opening game next time. We have to decide what we want to do with our scouts. So we don't need a tier 3 quarterback scout anymore, I don't think. Let's get rid of him. We can still keep Marquise Colston. I'll keep him as the tier 2 scout. Actually, no. I think I'm going to get a corner scout for the tier 2. Let me check out the tier 3 scouts. I'm thinking a safety scout for this year. Yeah, let's do that. And then we need a tier 2 scout for corners. So let's get Aqib Talib. And then we need 2 tier 1 scouts. I fired the middle linebacker scout. I want a D tackle scout. Is there a D tackle tier 1 scout? There is. Okay, cool. Let's hire you. And then I would like maybe a tackle scout. Yeah, getting some information on tackles would be nice. I'm going to rock with this group of scouts for the season. A left end, right end, a D tackle, left tackle, right tackle, corner, safety. That's fine. Definitely fine. All right, so we are done with the preseason. Injuries were turned off that whole time, so nobody is at risk of getting injured. Let's go to the first week. We can check out the draft class and stuff next time. We have to take on Derrick Henry. That's going to be terrifying. Let me get the roster in order, and then I'll show you what it's looking like. All right, so I think the team is finalized. I signed a bunch of other random backup guys just to fill out the roster. I don't remember exactly who I signed. I think I signed like one other rookie, but I'm pretty sure the rest were just, you know, players who already exist. But here is the offense. It's not looking great, but at least we have 2 hidden development trait players. I'm excited to use them. Really excited for Wolfhart and excited for Arocho. I think he can be really good at running back. Tyree Jackson was one of the players I signed. I just noticed him right now. 58 overall. Let's go. Also, our fullback, Sutton Smith, 63 overall. He's a beast. On the defense, then, this is what I'm going to rock with. We have Davion Taylor on the team now. I think he's a new addition. This is the rookie I signed, Jerron Yarbrough. Just a backup safety. Looks pretty athletic, so I figured I'd go with him. We have Lane now at left end, Zach Lane. Hidden dev trait, 67 overall. I'm excited for him. Of course, we have our hidden development trait cornerback. I think that guy's going to be a stud. We have Princeton Anderson starting at middle linebacker. I'm excited to use him. He's very fast. Not the biggest, but it's all good. We'll make him work. Nyman's going to be starting at outside linebacker. Wanted to make it a point to get him involved because of how fast he is as well. I'm excited for this team. We're going to absolutely suck balls, but it'll be fun. All right, we're going to develop these guys along the way. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to this series. I definitely am. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave your names in the comments if you want to be any of the rookies I just signed. Feel free to leave suggestions about pretty much anything in the series. If you want me to change anything, let me know. I'm all ears. But mainly, let me know of any other veteran players you might want me to trade for, and I'll look into it. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday watching football and whatnot, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
If you take us to